Alright, it is time for another technical video. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build custom kernel on ArchLinux. Okay, I have written a bash script which is very simple, plain, and very explicit, which will automate the process of building custom kernel on ArchLinux. So please follow it. Okay, so let me get into my Emacs. So the point is that to show you that if you follow the standard they are imposing on you, whatever the distribution you are sitting on, so if you follow along their guideline, it becomes pretty easy to make things possible according to your way. Okay, so there is the whole point of doing customization to get the thing as per your liking, as per your understanding, as per your requirement, right? So you are opting for to do the customization in any case because you don't want the default stuff to be fed to you or some specific stuff written and built by somebody else which you are not supposed to consume. So you go ahead and build the stuff according to your choice. The customization is such that plus you'll come to know the internal or intricacies of the build system of a specific distribution. It might help, it might not help. It depends on how you are looking at it. I'm showing you this purely out of because I did it many moons ago and I enjoyed the process. So I thought to make a video so people can get benefited out of it. As simple as that. Okay, so it might be useful to you. So please follow along. So let me get the script. Okay. So here is the script, and I will post this script on my GitHub repo. There is a repo in my repository called admin script. You will find this script in that particular repo. Once I finish this video, I'll upload this script to that particular GitHub repository. So I'll give the link of this particular script in the description section below, so you can have a look at your leisure. Okay. And before I start explaining again, so if I try to make the things as explicit as possible, if you found out any improvement can be done, kindly let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear, I would love to add up. But please make sure if you suggest something that has to be pinpointed. Okay, so with that heads up go out of the way, let's start. So I declared bunch of variables on the top of the script. You can see I boot my system from UEFI, so and that's a pretty static location because I have a dedicated UEFI partition. That's what they suggested. That's the way it is works. So I have a static partition, and there are files and folders related to the specific distros. I ran several distros, precisely 4. Okay, so this is the I'll show you how I exploit this variable later in the script. This is just a convenience to date format. This is again there are I use so there are boot entries which can be shown. So this is the place where the boot entry simple conf file reside. These are just shorthand. Build dir is a place where it can download the ArchLinux kernel and inflated it, okay, and build it importantly in this specific location. Again, this is a time binary which will show how much time elapsed making the package. And this is the directory. This is the variable which contains the path of the directory where once the kernel has been built, the package is going to be reside under this directory. Okay, so once the custom kernel built, it provide the package which is going to be located under this directory. Okay, I'll show you how I can get into that and use the other stuff. This is a fancy thing, this printf statement. It is basically provide you the host name, the date, and the uptime. This printf statement is purely for the eye candy stuff. You probably, if you don't want, you can outright ignore it. Here is something absolute ugly, but this is what I want. It could have been done much better way. I'm sure people can do that, and I haven't put enough energy behind it, so I take the easy route. So this is a variable called kernel, which I have a script which will simply extract the ArchLinux tag. I'll show you one later in the video how this particular script, executable script, what this executable script has inside it. And once I run, it will output some tag. Then I simply set it to some punctuation or whatever you say at the end of the output to nullify it, basically replace with nothing. Then I took away the hyphen. Probably I could have used punct here in a regex term, punct, and here is a specific string I want to remove from that particular output. Here again the v which was attached with the tag output, so that's what I got rid of it. So this is a multiple piping command which end result produce the exact form which I needed. Okay, I'm saying again, this long line could have been abbreviated or done in much a simpler way if I put little bit of more effort to do with the regex, which most of you probably do. I am too lazy, honestly, so I didn't put that effort, just took the easy road. Okay, so you please to take the proper route to achieve that. Okay, so now I simply check whether the build dir exists. If it is not exist, it's going to create it. Okay, and then we get into that build dir. Okay, now ASP is a kind of stuff. It is just Git with some sort of wrapper, okay, which is called ASP, and it has to check out the Linux grid branch from Arch repo, okay, from GitHub. So it create a Linux folder inside our build directory, okay, and then it also bring down along with other folder and files. Once you run asp checkout linux, this particular command, it will bring down other folder and file in that repository. It's generally pretty quick, okay, and one of the file is called package build, okay, and in the file package build will help you to make specific package which you are supposed to build on ArchLinux. It has got some sort of variables and all the function which will allow you to customize according to ArchLinux standard. Okay, so before going any further, let me show you how the package build file actually work. So if I do asp checkout linux, see it has cloned into a folder called linux. If I go into linux repos core x86, okay, so here is a package build file. So if you can see it contains bunch of variables which I am going to manipulate, okay, and these stuffs are there, and there are few functions which is also I am going to manipulate, okay, through my script to build it according to my need, my liking, okay. But this is the standard Linux kernel, ArchLinux kernel package build file, okay. So this is the vanilla package build file. If you want to have a look, if you are sitting on an ArchLinux, just run asp checkout linux, get into the specific directory which is under linux repos core -x8664, and underneath that directory you'll find this particular file called package build. This is a default file which provided by the Arch developers. I'm going to customize it according to my wish, okay. So I just bring it up to show you how the vanilla package build file looks like, okay. You can see it. So all right, sorry. All right, then okay, so we have come back to our script. See, I'm cding into the specific directory, okay. In fact, I can do a little bit. So if I do, and if I do arc repo and if I paste, because cd doesn't work inside the shell script, everybody knows about it, right? That is why we need to, okay, now I'm inside that particular directory, what asp checkout linux bring. Okay, so then I simply zcat the profile config.zz, which is having the compressed version of running Linux kernel. So all I did, I redirect it to a config file. Okay, redirect to a config file which will written the configuration of the running kernel. Okay, all right, then I simply run sed to change this particular variable. It was yes, so I turn it on to no. Okay, then I try to find out the result. Okay, again I turn off the config debug info and then look for the result. When the script will run, it will produce the output of the present state of those variables, debug kernel and debug info. So you'll come to know whether those variables are changed or not. I'm sorry. Now again, as I shown you the vanilla package build file, there are a bunch of variables inside that package build file. Here I am replacing the vanilla variable value with my value. Okay, whatever the value I want that particular variable to be set. So that's what I'm doing. I'm running sed to change the specific variable to my liking. Okay, in this case I'm just replacing Linux to the host name and the kernel name. Okay, then I change the package var variable with, if I grep it and see it, what is that variable that I captured in a package var variable. Now I change that to the kernel whatever I have saved in the kernel variable and top of this script, right? I shown to you how the kernel variable is storing the exact format of the version I wanted. Okay, so again, I know a lot of people might be saying, why so many? So please show me how could I do that in a better way. I'm sure you can show me. So I try to be explicit. It might not elegant. That's not an excuse to say that, because I found it easy in that time when I wrote this, so I write it and I never change it. Okay, so because it's work for me. So if you can show me the better way, I would love to adopt it. As simple as that. So again, I'm basically just deleting some specific file and inserting some variable according to my test, variable value according to my test in the same location. You can see I deleted the line number 7 and I inserted in line number 7 to my choice of variable value. Okay, likewise in 17 I took away the stuff what has default provided and put my thing in that particular variable. Now one big question is there, doing these things line by line, it's not good enough. It's prone to failure. It happened before to me because some of the smart fellow in ArchLinux, they have changed something and the line number gets changed and my script failed. It is not at all their fault. They play with it because it's their project. It's a problem with me to do a line-based editing because this is not good enough in a sense. As I said, if somebody changed, I took the chance because I thought this is a damn good config file and it's supposed to be stay static. When I first encountered it many moons ago, and I thought the lines should be stay static and nothing. That's probably a foolish notion I had. That's why this particular thing has come in that time. So I went ahead, and to be very honest, it was the easiest possible way to do. So I did it. Okay, and in later when my script failed 2-3 times because some of the people in ArchLinux release team have done something and added lines and do other stuff with the such a important file like this, because I'm doing a line based modification of the default file what I saw, and my script started to fail, so I have to readjust the line sometime. Okay, so if you are looking at this script and get it from my repository and trying, and if you see a failure and it is showing some line has changed, it is not your fault. Probably it is the fault of mine that I write the script in that way. All the purpose to show you this script is to let you see the internal how ArchLinux provide a file to build the packaging mechanism for their distribution. In this case, I'm taking an example of building a custom Linux on ArchLinux. Clear? Okay. So you can see from there I ran a bunch of set command which will specifically change. I should have okay. So I have basically those set commands are basically deleting out line and putting the content in the same line just to keep sanity of that package build file in proper format. I am again saying it is a bad practice to modify something on the base of line to do something in consistent basis. If you consider yourself extremely lucky if the file stays long in the same format. Okay, and I told you my reasoning to opting for this, and I haven't got a chance to change it to some other method. If you people can come up with that, please do let me know. I'd love to adapt it. This is not the efficient way of doing it, but I did it. So here it is. So you can compare this script with other buffer or other pane to open the vanilla package build file for the ArchLinux. So you can compare line by line where things are going. Okay, I'm asking you to do too much thing if you want this script to be work for you. Okay, whether you take it or not, it's absolutely up to you. Okay, so then there is a mechanism, and they expect you to check the sum if you made the changes to that specific package build file. Either you can do through make package -g, or there is a binary upd package sums which you can download and have it and you can run it. So it will check the sanity of the sum once you change the, as you can see, I have clearly written, we have checked the package build file, so we're supposed to run and find out the sums. Okay, now to compile or build it, you need to simply run make package -s. Okay, and as I show you, these are the time binary. This $tm variable contains, if you look at the top of the script, there is a tm variable which contains the time binary, basically to spit out how much time the total build will take. At the end of the build, it will show you. Then once the build has been done, again this particular directory, under this particular directory, once the kernel build has done, the two packages, in this particular case I'm only building header package and the kernel package. In default package build file, there are also document generating package sections are there, which I have commented out, and I don't build it, because if you start to build that, it will take more time. But for the sake of sanity, you might try it once just to see how long it will take and what it actually produces. I didn't need that, so I commented out with the set command and took away the option from the package build file which was pointing to the documentation related stuff. These are the line. See, my cursor is hovering. These are the section which allow you to build the document related stuff, which I simply commented out. Okay, and then I adjusted the parameter of that particular variable to a specific thing I want, only the package base and the package header, and remove the package doc variable. Okay, so again I am saying, please compare the vanilla package build file with this file so you can find out what are the difference. Okay, this file is just a guideline for you to follow through. You are not supposed to copy it, or you are not supposed, I'm just showing it that you could have done much better, but this is basically you need to do to build a custom kernel on ArchLinux. Okay, so the method will be, first of all, one pane this script will be there, another pane the vanilla package build file will be there, so you can compare line by line where the changes are. Okay, so once that package build, once after the long few hours, in my slow machine it took few hours to build the entire package. So then once the package generated, I get into that particular directory and run pacman -u, and no confirm is to, they don't prompt you for the confirmation. As simple as that. I have commented few line here intentionally because these commands are very machine specific. I did it in that way blindly because I know my machine, it is happening in my machine, so I know the location. So it's pretty darn easy for me to do whatever I want to do. If you are doing it on a mass scale or in different way, then this line wouldn't be a solution to your problem. Then you have to come up with something which will dynamically allocate all this stuff, right? This is just a EFI count file change. Okay, so I intentionally, and the last one is, this is where my cursor is hovering, just to create a NSH file which will allow you to boot Linux from the UEFI shell. Okay, I boot my Linux distribution most of the time from the UEFI shell. As I said, I do not use any bootloader. I directly boot my Linux from the UEFI shell. I do have a bootloader, time to time I fall back, but most of the time I just, so that is why this NSH file is required. Once I build the kernel and inflate it in the right direction, right pointed, then I build my update my NSH file. So for the next time I'm going to boot it, I get the right kernel right initially. As simple as that, all at one go. Okay, you might want it, you might not want it. I wanted it, so I wrote it like that way and in a very explicit manner. See, I even hard coded the partition and all this stuff because it's happening in my machine, so I know the location. It could be different for you. That's why I commented out this particular section, so it might not be so useful to you. Okay, so look into this section with a grain of salt. Okay, so it might be helpful, might not be helpful. Anyway, so this is all about this a small bash script which basically manipulate the ArchLinux default package build file to infuse some of your own customized value, replace the default value comes along with that file with your own value. Here you can see in the set command I manipulate the variable to get the stuff according to my liking. Okay, so this is how it works. You can, I'm going to upload this particular script in GitHub under admin script directory, and I'll give you the link for this particular script in the description section below, so you can play around and do whatever you like to do. But this is how I generally build custom kernel on ArchLinux. So I bring it up, I thought it would be useful to you. Okay, and I'm supposed to show you one, what is that? Bin ArchLinux latest tag. See, this is simply running a W3M with a specific GitHub URL where ArchLinux tags are there, and I grep out the arch1 value of it and essentially the first one. Okay, so and if I run it, let me run it, Control C, Control X, and if I say see, you can see from the bottom frame or bottom buffer that it has let me highlight you. You can see it produce it to go to that particular URL, take the first one, release or tag, and provide me the result. Okay, and this is the latest one. Okay, and produce this result. This could have been changed or customized or trimmed. I didn't do that. That's why I took a long route in the original script with a lot of tier, which is not efficient to get the exact value. Okay, so this is what it generates. All right, now if I, and because I didn't do that, that is why this long line has come. This long line of elimination has come just because in that particular, in this particular script file, I didn't do that. Okay, so I hope this will be useful to some people. Okay, so if you want to build custom kernel on ArchLinux, here is a way with the bash script. It is an ugly one, but you can beautify it or make it more elegant, and please share with me. Okay, thanks for watching.